Palestinians in Gaza, Palestinians in the West Bank, Palestinian refugees in general have only one lifeline, one agency, the UNRWA. And its volunteers are being killed, assassinated, attacked, and its offices are being shut down. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu has had his eyes on the agency offices for years. What is his problem with UNRWA? Our next report breaks it down for you.
The United Nations has lost its first international staffer since the Israeli forces declared war in Gaza. Vaibhav Anil Kale, a retired Indian Army official, was driving to the European hospital in Rafah when tank fire struck the vehicle, killing him instantly. While Israeli authorities say they are investigating the incident, the UN says only Israeli tanks were present in Rafah. Of the hundreds of UN staff present in Gaza, currently 71 are international staff members. The UN chief, Antonio Guterres, said close to 190 of the agency's employees have been killed since October 7 last year. In April, the Israeli forces killed 7 aid workers from the World Central Kitchen, 6 of whom were international volunteers. While all humanitarian agencies are scrambling to distribute aid in Gaza in the face of grave danger, there is one organization that has historically been at the receiving end of Israeli hostility: the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinians. Israel's incessant military onslaught may be limited to Gaza and at times the West Bank, but the UNRWA, the sole UN agency for Palestinians, has frequently come under attack in other parts of the region as well. The UN Aid Agency for Palestinians has now closed its headquarters in Jerusalem after the facility came under attack this past week. Parts of the office compound were set on fire twice, the second act of arson dangerously close to the agency's fuel depot, posing the threat of a massive explosion.
Since the 7th of October, there's been definitely an escalation of tension against UNRWA, attacks on UNRWA. Not only the physical attacks that we saw last night, the fire, but also a few days ago there was a demonstration that became very violent with destruction of our property outside of this compound. But generally, across the West Bank, the office that I'm responsible for, we've seen a lot of hostility, tensions, staff being removed from cars and detained and threatened because people are very, very agitated.
The attack is the latest in a series of the attempts by the Israeli government and settlers alike who are trying to pressure the agency to shut its operations. In February this year, Israel had accused 130 UNRWA volunteers of having links to Hamas. The Netanyahu administration went as far as to even claim that 12 workers were involved in the October 7 attacks by Hamas. So far, Israel has not provided any evidence to substantiate its claim. What makes matters interesting is that Netanyahu's push to disband UNRWA is not new. For years now, the Israeli leader has been trying to shut down the agency's operations in Gaza. On June 11, 2017, Netanyahu called for the UN agency to be dismantled. He claimed that UNRWA supported anti-Israeli sentiments. The leader also accused UNRWA of quote-unquote perpetuating a refugee problem. But what is the sticking point about the agency that irks Benjamin Netanyahu? UNRWA allows Palestinian refugee men to transfer their refugee status from one generation to another. This key provision gives Palestinians the right to fight for their eventual return to Gaza. The clause ensures that generations do not lose all hope to return to their ancestral land after the death of the original refugees who were forcibly displaced during the 1948 Nakba. 76 years ago, the creation of Israel was not the only event with profound consequences for the region. Israel's call for independence resulted in thousands of Palestinians becoming refugees in their own land. Over 750,000 Palestinians were displaced in 1948 alone, and that number has only increased over the years. The only shred of hope ever since has been the UNRWA, that was established by the UN General Assembly in 1949. Currently, over 5 million Palestinians are registered as refugees with the agency, all of whom someday wish to return home. And the person getting in the way of this critical provision remaining intact is Benjamin Netanyahu.